Aquarius. I'm singing the most beautiful song in my head ever. And I feel like I'm going to bring that beauty into this reading. It's about falling in love with somebody. And it's a feeling that you don't want to miss. And you're never going to find something when you're looking for it. But when you stop looking for it, that suddenly seems to be when people find something. So, I am going to bring in the animals. Let's see what the animals have to say. I'm about to go and leave, help my sister work today, so I'm not going to do a lot of reading, so I'm going to bring that beautiful song in. Well, you're never gonna find it if you look before it won't come away. Well, you never find it if you're looking for it. Should have done something, but I thought it enough by the way your hands were shaking. Rather waste some time with you. Yeah, somebody wants to waste some time with somebody. That's so cute. Ooh, the crow. High Priestess. As I put my crow out. High Priestess alert. Golden Egg. Ace of Cups. Sexy. Here's the Two of Cups. Moth. Page of Wands. Okay, and then we got the Vulture here, Ten of Swords. That takes an interesting turn. Okay, I did see the Tower while I was shuffling. So there's the Tower. Something coming down. Ooh, the Three of Swords in reverse. Wow, with the owl. And I saw an owl in my third eye yesterday, and it was like huge. This huge white owl came in. Okay, I'm going to take Hummingbird as well, because there's the Page of Swords. So we got the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. That's very interesting energy. Some interesting ideas. Interesting thoughts. So I feel like this High Priestess, okay, she's not only is she sitting on an egg, but then there's also an egg that appears right beside it that she's looking at that happens just to be the exact same color. So I feel like someone's been sitting on something, okay, and they know what it is, okay? It's something to do with this Two of Cups, all right? But it's like this Vulture is looking at this Page of Wands, okay? Like he wants to devour this moth, which is unfortunate. So I feel like something could be coming in for you that's very mirror. It's very dual. It's something that you could possibly see yourself in, or you see yourself in somebody else, right? And maybe that's what you're trying to blossom, or that's what's hiding in this egg, is that you're trying to find somebody that's like you, right? And you know, it's like, you know what you want, you know what you're hatching, like, you know, but then there's this Vulture that's just sitting here. And you know what vultures do. They just devour the dead. They devour the things left behind. So I feel like devour things left behind. I feel like, because now then the Tower hits. Okay, the Tower hits, and then all the pain goes away. And somebody's uplifted because they no longer have to feel something that they don't want to feel anymore. They want release from something. Right? And then the owl, okay, would be the Ten of Cups. So it goes from the Ten of Swords to the Ten of Cups. But this Page of Swords has to come forward. So it's like that Page of Swords is just staring at that Ten of Cups. It's like, you know, I do not do love readings, but I feel like the reason why I feel like this one is coming through, because I feel like someone's trying to stop it. Someone's trying to interfere, but really they're just a bottom feeder. They just feed off of the things left over after people have moved on and they don't want it anymore. So it's like you might feel like you're in a position where nobody wants you or nobody could possibly want you anymore, but that's this person that obviously is just lingering. And someone's telling you that you're worth nothing, that you're garbage, that you're scraps, that you're the thing that people leave behind, right? And that's I think that's the energy that makes this person go above that. It's like jumping a frequency, I almost feel like, and getting out of the lowness, getting out of the bottom feeders, getting away from that energy that says that's the tower. That's fighting back. That's going like, no, that's not right. Like what you're saying about me is not right. I deserve things that I feel like I deserve, that I've worked hard for. If you don't feel like I deserve those things, if you feel like you can just come in and take everything, you can't this time. I'm not going to let you do this. Like somebody's overcoming. It's like a brainwashing that you've kind of had to be a part of just to acknowledge that it exists, right? It's like people do such bad things here and they think that they're going to be able to get away with it because they can lie. And sure, this is not the only dimension you can lie, but I kind of believe that everything gets replayed, and if somebody's lying about something, that gets recorded. And most times people forget about what they lie about. If you leave it long enough, they'll forget about what they said because it was a lie and it was never the truth. So I feel like that's going to be this tower. Like soon you're going to forget about it because it wasn't the truth. You know what you're creating, right? You know what you want. You know what you want to give yourself. This is what you've been protecting this whole time. And I think you know that you've been protecting something and letting it grow. But you have to allow the egg to hatch on its own. You can't force something or you rip its skin off, literally. If you try to take a shell off of a baby, you'll rip its skin off, right? Like I watched this man try to get this bird out because it was having such a hard time because it was one of these birds that like their eggs are like the size of the tip of this crystal or something. And the baby is so small, but there's this like nebula from on them and the inner egg. Like you can see that inner sac, right? When you try to take the shell off, that's like connected to them. So when they start to hatch, they're the ones that have to break away from that, right? They're the ones that have to detach from the nebulous or whatever that clingy wall is, right, that helps them grow and protects them. So you can't force something, right? But it's almost like every time, anyways, like that's the message with something. You can't force something to hatch. You can't force something, which is what somebody knows. So listening to them say that you're nothing, right, that you're never going to be able to get what you want, I think finally something comes in that you want. Something, not even that you want, but it's the 10 of Cups. It's something that you see as picture perfect. Like the owl is a very wisdom. Okay, there's a lot of wisdom that comes through an owl. When you see an owl, it's like the world is trying to tell you something, right? And it's that wisdom. Like an owl can just sit there and stare. I mean, an owl, the patience that an owl actually has, what an owl is capable of, their wingspan and how light as a feather their wingspan is. Like they create absolutely almost no friction when they flap their wings. Like they are so silent. And that's the thing, is like I feel like somebody's gonna find silence in something almost after being ripped apart for years, that you're nothing, you're worth nothing. And that's coming around, you know, like that's where this thing finally now gets addressed. Like it's like the egg hatches and somebody finally realizes that they're never going to listen to that paradigm again, that they're not good enough, right? That they only deserve the scraps that life will give them. Like, I mean, unless you're an absolute monster, I don't think anybody just deserves scraps, right? Which is the only thing a vulture would take is scraps. And actually, okay, I was wondering, okay, so I've been watching The Walking Dead, and this character, this like woman with a shaved head, she's called Alpha. She takes over this group that act like the dead, right? And this her daughter gets away and goes into this like sanctuary camp and realizes that everything her mother has ever told her is a lie, right? She was like, this daughter's like, this place can't exist. My mom told me that places like this don't exist. She told me that I had to fight. She told me that I had to be this if weak people fail, and that I always had to be strong. And she was really like brainwashed by her mother, being a complete bitch, being a controlling bitch that was so violent to her, and the violence was supposed to teach her. So she said that this mama, she said that her daughter like went missing, ran off or something, and when the mom found her, she hugged her and then smacked her in the face. So then this daughter would never run away again, using violence to brainwash. Maybe that's what it is. Because I've been wondering why I was drawn to watch The Walking Dead. Like, it was always something, that I would put on if I had cable, right? Like, it always was on A&E all the time. You could watch an episode of The Walking Dead at any part of the day, I feel like. But I was drawn to rent it. And then I saw, Ryan Hurst is like one of my favorite actors, and he's beta. So it was like alpha, beta. And I got drawn to watch it, and I was like, why is this over controlling mother? Like, I was so drawn to her, and it was like probably because of this, right? Like, she used massive amounts of violence, and like my sister can remember my mom beating me, but I don't remember it. And it's because my sister would have been like 11 years old, right? Anywhere between 8 and 11, and she has the memory, but I don't. I was only like 5 or 6. Starting when my mom really started to hit me, and I don't remember it. And my sister constantly tells me how much my mother hit me, and particularly this one time where she beat me on the stairs with a hanger. So she was whipping me with a hanger, and I don't know why. I don't ever remember doing anything to other than I used to run off a lot. I would take off. And my parents never knew where I was. And that started when I was a baby. Like, when I started to walk, I would just start walking off. Clearly, I did not want to be in that house. So I took every opportunity to run away. Even if it was 20 feet from my house, I was a baby. Like, the first time I ran away, I was actually like not even 2 years old. I walked to my grandparents' house in my diaper, not even dressed. So, if somebody's been doing that, if there's been something like you just constantly keep running away from something, that literally tells you that you're not good enough. And then it's like whatever you've been sitting on, whatever you've been waiting for, it's finally going to come. And it's going to be that thing that you were told was never going to come. It didn't exist, right? You didn't get it. And if it existed for other people, great. But somebody instilled that something was never going to happen for you. It didn't exist. And the thing is that it does. It does exist, and it does happen. And they can't scare you into it anymore, because now the tower is going to come down. So something comes down. Ooh, I just saw 333 on the clock. That's change, right? That's like something divine. When this tower comes down and you break that person's mental over you. That violence was the way that they showed you love. Violence was going to shut you up. Violence was going to show you the right way, as if words weren't hard enough. Wow. I don't even know what to name this reading. This is like monumental. For somebody to overcome that type of restraint over them. Wow. I just like kind of took the wind out of me, so I don't really know what to call this. But anyways, Aquarius, or whoever's ever watching, I hope this helps. Big time. Peace out. Whitney Moon.